My sister found him behind the sofa, strapped in a car seat, eating his own feces, filled in it. I was not expecting to be a mother. When I went over there, I saw the condition that the little baby was in, and it completely broke my heart. He had wells that were bleeding because the pamper had been like stuck on the skin. He was very sick, malnourished, neglected, practically dying. The mother was a substance user and involved with other things to make money. I asked the mom if it'd be all right with her if I took her baby home while she went out and got her life together. And she didn't hesitate to say yes, take him.
Ceci rescued 4-month-old Alexander from the home of a drug-addicted family friend.
I got a call a month and a half, almost 2 months after I had brought Alexander home, from my sister again, crying. And she said, I need to tell you that there's another sibling. He's 18 months old, and he's roaming around. And I brought him home with me as well.
Michael, only 18 months old, had been passed around from place to place when Ceci found him. His teeth were rotting, and he was unable to speak a word. Ceci took the required steps to become a foster parent, and in her care, the boys had a stable home for the first time. She became the only mother they knew. But after a year, social services planned to move Michael yet again to the home of his paternal uncle, a complete stranger.
You gonna be a good boy?
For a young child as fragile as Michael was, to sever his deep attachment to a nurturing caregiver and his sibling would be a crippling loss and further hinder his development. Ceci learned that Michael had 2 older brothers, Jeremiah 8 and Zach 7, who had been already placed in the foster care of the uncle, where 9 other children were living. This placement would prove to be more damaging for the boys. The uncle had a violent criminal record.
Jeremiah, being the older brother, got the courage to try to speak up against his uncle to the social worker. And he tried to tell her that my uncle is beating me. I need to get out of here.
I felt like I was in hell, and I couldn't stand it at all. And I was trying to write letters behind his back, but I couldn't. And every time when I do something, he will smack me and beat me. So what I did is I stepped up for my brothers and myself, went to court. I told the court, but the court did not listen, and they thought I was lying.
And even in spite of all this, the recommendation of Michael going to the uncle's house was still set in place. And then the day came when I had to go drop off Michael at social services. It was, I think, one of the most devastating days of my life. He was terrified. He was screaming. He was screaming, "No, Mama, no, Mama, I don't want to go, Mama." When they shut that van door and drive off, I could still hear Michael screaming.
This was the beginning of Ceci's long fight to save Michael and his brothers.
I didn't know what to do. I didn't know who to turn to. I couldn't trust anyone. I was terrified.
Ceci knew the boys were in trouble, yet she felt helpless to change it. She turned to Advokids. Advokids protects the rights of foster children to a safe, secure, permanent home. There are 70,000 foster children in California alone. Advokids taught Ceci how to work within the juvenile court system. They instructed her how to file petitions, cite case laws, and question authorities whose decisions ignored the boys' safety and well-being.
I called and I spoke with Margaret Coyne. She was so passionate about these children's rights, and she began to give me information, where to go, a list of attorneys, information on bonding, psychologists' phone numbers. I began to follow up with everything that she gave me. All the tools, the confidence, the courage, the knowledge to arm myself to go out and get these boys out of there.
Advokids gave Ceci constant support to keep fighting, and because she kept the facts before the court, the uncle was arrested for criminal child abuse. Finally, all 4 boys were placed with Ceci, but the struggle was not over.
Michael came back saying that the uncle beat him with the belt, and that's all he would say. Uncle beat me with the belt. The separation affected him that to this day, he's already been back with me over a year, and it's still affecting him. And he's still wondering if I'm coming back or not. The boys were just a nervous wreck. They had nightmares. They cried, they screamed, they bounced off the walls. They were just really out of control. They didn't know what to do with their emotions.
Studies have proven that when a child's attachment to a nurturing caregiver is disrupted in the first few years of life, it undermines brain development. Multiple foster placements can lead to learning disabilities and psychological damage. Advokids is the only organization dedicated to protecting foster children during these critical years.
My job now is to, instead of just enjoying and loving them, it's more of repairing. It's going to be work to repair the damage that was done to them. Loving them 24 hours a day. Try to repair that and make them feel safe. So I'm very grateful to Advokids. I'm very grateful to Margaret, because of all the people that I ever spoke to, she was the only one that told me, no, you better go and fight for those boys. When everybody told me, you better just give up. She said, no, you don't give up. You go get those boys. And it worked. It worked.
Advokids fights every day for hundreds of children like Ceci's boys. Their lives were at risk, and every part of the child welfare system failed them repeatedly. Advokids was their only safety net. We must invest in these vulnerable children